Welcome back to Arma Reforger. We're in the Game Master mode again to learn what it takes to be a one-man wrecking crew. We're going over different projectiles each side has at their disposal against the two main armored vehicles, Typhoon and the Bradley fighting vehicle. We're going to look at how each vehicle's design can be exploited based on different projectiles being used. Let's get into it. We'll start with the Law, light anti-tank weapon. It's a single-use weapon and I can't really recommend taking on armored vehicles with it. It works well against cargo trucks, jeeps, and medical vans, and it really works well against personnel.
Oh my god! Oh, I just killed 3 guys with a Law.
Enemy.
Nice.
Dropped off 6.
You can see that even after 3 separate shots from the Law, the Typhoon is still standing. And since I hit it high up, all 4 tires are still intact. Next we will use the M2 Carl Gustaf and the 3 different rounds, Heat anti-tank round, HE dual purpose, and the anti-personnel against all 4 sides of the Typhoon, and the front and rear wheel wells. It'll also give us a nice chance to see Arma's fantastic vehicle damage model. First, go into the arsenal for gear and grab a large backpack to carry extra ammo. This extra weight will slow you down in a real server, so you won't want to carry this much unless you're planning on specifically holding an ambush point. For the duration of the video, we'll have a picture of the round being used and how many shots it took. First shot right in the rear passenger wheel, and it blew the tire off the wheel, with the second follow-up shot killing it. But when we shoot right at the engine block, it blows up with 1 shot. Let's rearm and try it again, for science. I just spun these 2 around to orient them correctly for us. Another 1 tap right through the engine block. Now for the rear. The 1 shot didn't blow it up or puncture either rear tire, but the second shot finished it off. Now let's try the dual purpose. We're expecting a smaller yield against the Typhoon, so let's see how it goes. It still looks like it will take more than 1 shot, but it did knock the rear tire off. So it still took 4 shots over the rear wheel for complete detonation, but still only 1 shot in the engine. Finally, for the Gustaf, anti-personnel rounds. I'm not expecting great results against the Typhoon. Let's drop a few Typhoons in the Game Master menu and see how they hold up. Alright, let's speed this up a smidge. First round still knocked the tire off, but otherwise minimal damage. The Typhoon took a whopping 8 shots, the last being in the engine block. Let's see how many shots to the engine it takes to destroy it. That was still 4 shots compared to a single shot from the anti-tank. Hitting in the windshield is probably our best bet to at least kill the occupant. It knocked out the windshield and we can see straight into the rear cabin area. Let's take a look at the Stinger against the big boy. We'll add a Soviet NPC so we can fly it up, and then we'll just lock the controls so it hovers in place. As long as you're in the ballpark, the Stinger will run it down. One major real-world issue we're not able to test here is the use of flares, which will almost always defeat the Stinger when used early enough. Sometimes it will explode close enough to still do damage, though. Next, we'll take a quick look at the heat-seeking IGLA launcher. Similar to the Stinger, we'll put a Cobra out there and put it into auto hover and switch back to our Russian and take a shot at it. One shot severely disabled it. If they were flying low, they might be able to land. However, if they were in some trees or flying over a mountain, they would still be in big trouble. We'll grab another IGLA and finish it off. Now we'll look at the Soviet RPG selection. Let's just throw down some Bradleys on the ground. Note some of these launchers will have different optics, so find the one that works best for your playstyle. Again, make sure to grab the largest backpack before loading up. We're going to start with the classic Heat Warhead. Some of these clips are going to be sped up as there's a lot of ordnance to go through and some of them take more than a few shots to fully destroy a Bradley. Still going to put a picture of the specific round to use and a shot counter. As we can see, the first two warheads work very well against the Bradley. 3 shots up front, 4 to the side, and a whopping 7 shots to the rear. Next, we're going to load up the OG-7V anti-personnel grenade. Bradley will probably take a lot of these. So that took 11 shots and it still didn't blow up. That's definitely not ideal, unless the occupants are starting to jump out. We'll switch to the PG-7VR dual charge warhead designed for anti-armor use. That surprisingly still took 4 shots to the side. That's a pretty solid Bradley. But it only took 2 shots to the rear to be destroyed. Now for the TBG-7V thermobaric warhead. This is another anti-personnel warhead, and apparently it violates international humanitarian law. With 4 shots to the front, that's still pretty poor. You'd probably be dead trying this by yourself. And another 4 shots to the side isn't great either. You'll most likely be dead here as well. And another 4 shots to the rear. That's more than enough time for the Bradley to swing its turret around and light you up. Lastly, we'll be using the TBG-7VL, another anti-personnel thermobaric warhead. Well, that's an interesting result. That has a pretty large blast radius against personnel. Why don't we move these Bradleys back a little bit and try again? These warheads certainly tore me apart, but the Bradley is really holding its own. That was 10 shots to the rear, and another 6 shots from the side, and lastly, another 6 shots from the front. You're definitely going to want to save these rounds for clearing bases and buildings. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video was a lot of fun to make. I certainly know which RPGs I'm going to be bringing to the front with me. What's your preferred RPG? Did it change after watching this, or were you right all along? Leave me a comment and let me know. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to keep seeing these helpful videos breaking down different aspects of Reforger, and maybe stop by a live stream and say hi. We stream multiple times a week. Thank you very much.